we still don't know what Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be. Not yet. Sure, we know the basics. We can all see the nearly 7-foot fireball of speed and power and long limbs. But there's still so much more to come that it's almost hard to look at him without also seeing his potential, trailing him like a shadow. What if he ever really does develop that outside jumper? What if those spurts of tricky ball handling he's been starting to show off lately become his actual go-to moves? As we have discussed the MVP race this season, the fact that Giannis still has such obvious room to grow has handicapped him in some people's minds. Yes, he's ridiculous, but think about how much more ridiculous he might be and what that would mean to the Bucks. All of this was the backdrop to last night's Milwaukee-Houston game, billed as a battle of MVP positioning. Certainly, we know James Harden is already a finished product, an offensive machine operating at the height of its powers. And at least for the first half, Giannis didn't appear to be quite in his league yet. But as the Bucks went on a run at the start of the second half, Giannis picked up plenty of steam too. And while we never got one of his signature earth-shaking dunks in this game, we did get a moment that will be remembered, well, for a long time. Yeah, here is Giannis trying to make a laser pass to Malcolm Brogdon, and yes, that is James Harden's face. I don't know if it's worse or better if we slow it down like that, or if it's worse from this angle that a fan shot from the stands. After the game, a reporter asked Harden if he saw the ball coming.
Hell no, I didn't see it coming. It hurt. I didn't even know what happened. I think the ball somehow came back into his hands, and I didn't know how it happened. But
he said he apologized right away.
I don't need an apology. I wish I would have saw it.
And yes, NBA Twitter had jokes too, with plenty of folks suggesting that if Giannis couldn't beat Harden for MVP, he wanted to simply eliminate him, dodgeball style.
That's an out-of-shape dodgeball person.
But as for the rest of the fourth quarter did play out, Giannis showed he doesn't need to resort to that, thank you. There was this under the basket. I love this. He had hesitated on the three before it drove in instead. But look what he does with it. That pass is fantastic. And then with less than 45 seconds to go, the Rockets within 4 points in closing. Giannis tipped in the dagger. I love this above the rim shot, right? Because there just aren't that many human beings on Earth who can do that. Giannis would finish with 27 points and a career-high 21 rebounds, although, of course, there were also still moments last night when we saw that pesky shadow. Here is Giannis with a wide-open three. And look at Harden here. He doesn't even bother to contest. He just walks and then stops because he's expecting a brick, which he gets. Can you be an MVP if your game is still missing something so glaring? Will voters just count Giannis's truly breathtaking regular season numbers, or will they keep this kind of thing in mind come playoff time and knowing defense are just going to sag off him and clog the paint? Or is the answer somewhere in the middle? Yes, Giannis is still growing into his game, and yet also where he's grown to already is so good and it enables his team in so many different ways, it's enough to be judged on its own. No shadows, no shade, no doubt about it.
Where'd it go?
So, Paul, what do you think? Does Giannis need to develop that jump shot before you would give him an MVP vote?
Not at all. I mean, the numbers are staggering. The guy is averaging 27, 28 a game, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, and this is without a three-point shot. The good thing I like about him is that he takes them. You know, you see guys like Ben Simmons who don't even take the shot. So there's going to come a time where he's going to be respectable from there, whether it's high 29, 30%, that's respectable.
Yeah.
And if he gets that or even a mid-range shot to where he is already right now, because to me, he's MVP. And if he gets any kind of jumper,
so he doesn't need to be complete for you to be an MVP.
But the scary thing about it is he doesn't have a jumper and he's so dominant. I mean, you got to watch out for this kid. Not that you have to watch out now, but in the future, you really going to have to watch out.
Yeah, the scary thing isn't a guy that you don't know what he's going to do. The scary thing is when you know what he's going to do and you still can't stop him. It's like, oh, Ginobili, he wants to go left. All right, stop him from going left.
Right.
He's going to go there anyway. For Giannis, the shooting, I don't think it's going to stop him from winning MVP if that's the where he's at in the conversation.
If you'd otherwise vote.
The problem is there are other guys out there who are also having fantastic both individual and team years. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, LeBron James. So he's got competition. He's got stiff competition. It won't be because he can't make a jump shot, though. Like Paul said, this guy, look at what he's doing with everybody knowing the scouting report like James Harden. Hey, we're not closing out hard on the three-point line. We're going to let him shoot that. So if that's him with the scouting report like that, what's it going to be like if he makes shots?
Well, with James Harden, he was finishing second, third in MVP voting for a couple years, and some of the voters were saying, look, I can't vote for him at number one because he doesn't have a complete game. He doesn't play any defense. Defense is atrocious. You got to play both ends of the floor.
I mean, like, let's be honest. It's not like James Harden turned into a lockdown defender and that's when we made him MVP. He just
Stop being egregious.
He went from awful to
Right.
just regular bad.
Right.
And so
is that with Giannis? Is there any holding back, or is it okay?
Harden reached that pinnacle because of what his team success was.
Right.
It wasn't because of his game and he wasn't playing defense.
Right.
And Giannis is his team. If he has a success and wins the East, it doesn't matter if he has a jumper because the numbers don't lie.
Yeah. Well, the team's pretty successful right now. You're absolutely right.
The other thing I would say also is with Harden, we talked about the entire defense. And not he's bad in post-up defense or he's bad on closeouts. He was bad defensively. Here we're talking about a small part of his offensive game. But if I ask you, is Giannis a good offensive player? Is the answer yes or no?
Absolutely yes.
All right, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
Shaq couldn't hit a jump shot either.
Right.
He was MVP.
Yes.
Wilt couldn't hit a jump shot.
Should have
He
been
was
MVP more than once,
No,
Amin.
well, you got to find another one. You got to find another, not 05 and not 06, man.